there's a fancy little tool, Power Fist. So Power Fist, for those who don't recognize it, is from Princess Auto, which is Canada's Harbor Freight. Now, one thing Princess Auto has in common with the US is Harbor Freight. Half of the tools that I see people review, other than color, it's the same tool. It all comes out of, who knows, China, wherever they're buying their stuff offshore. But some of the tools, simple tools, work just fine that way. So I kind of like the store. This was something that I went to the parts store and said, hey, order me one of these. It's an impact driver, but it's the type of impact driver that you use a hammer on, and it just, people are lost. They're like, well, I got an electric one and this, that. It's not the same thing, and I'm going to show you why. So this is where most people who buy this is going to use this tool right here. Door strikers and that sort of thing. Now what you do is you go in the kit, and it's got your two common Allen keys, which is some of the Fords, I believe. And then some vehicles have flats. We've got 3 flats, a long one, 2 shorts. And then we've got, this is the one we're going to use. We've got a long one the same, and then there's one that's a little bit tighter. And the idea is you put it in and make sure it goes in as far as it can go, because the closer the shape is, the better. So there's a bit of slop there, so you could take the other one. That's not too bad. Okay, so we're going to go with this guy. Now, let's pretend for a sec this was like an impact driver, like a drill driver. When the impact works, you want to turn the screw counterclockwise, your impact does this, right? It's spinning with impact. But what this does, there's a cam inside. The switch hands, maybe I can film this better. Okay, you can see how I can turn this left and right, but it won't turn until I push it. But see how, so I'm trying to turn it to the left. Oh, it went past the cam. Okay, so now I have it turned all the way to the left, which is the direction I want the screw to go, or the bolt with the screw head. And when I push it, I can't go forward unless I turn it this way. So the cam is going to make it go that way. So what you do is you hold this like so until it touches. You hit the back of it with a hammer. Let's set something up so we can do that. Just bear with me for a moment. I guess the good YouTubers always have somebody holding their camera. But let's hope that we've got room. So you can see how when I push, this wants to spin this way. But if I hold it this way and then stop right where it's tight, when I hit the back of the hammer, it's going to force it to spin that way. However, every time you hit it with the hammer, the impact is driving it in to the bolt before. They're a little bit hokey, but they do work. Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice it, but now it went from tight to, you can spin it right out. So then what I like to do is I'll adjust my door. And we'll just go like, you know, about so tight. And then once I'm happy with where the door is, and I'm 100% going to leave it there, make sure that this is all the way. Here's that thing again. So now it's all the way this way. And I basically push it in. It's impacted. That's not going to come out. And a lot of people, they'll put a big screwdriver and try to get it and put a wrench on the screwdriver and all sorts of things. And sometimes they, and even with the head all buggered up, this tool will often get them out. Here, let's get that out of our way. So that's an old school impact driver. Now, sometimes, just so happens, you might end up, check this out. You can throw a socket on there, and in a pinch, it's an impact wrench, and it'll take stuff out. That's that adapter came with it. It was on it. It's basically just the bolt, or the bit holder, I should say. And basically anything that fits on your 1/2-inch sockets will fit on this. So if you're going to be working with these cars, because they don't have traditional bolts or Allen keys or anything else, sometimes, especially when you get the flat ones, I think it was a Mopar I did. Some of them have these, but I did one Mopar. They were flat. And this got me out of a bind. And it was funny because I just got it. I only had it for a few days, maybe a couple of weeks or something. It was like the newest tool in the shop. And then sure enough, a car come in where they were all buggered up and they were tight. And the guy says, I don't move them because I can't. Took them right out. It's a little hokey to use. You'll have to play with it to figure it out. But essentially, like I said, put it in, go all the way till the cam goes all the way tight, the direction you want it to go, and then push on it and tap the back. It'll take it right out. So an impact driver, like I say, it mostly back and forth. Some of them they claim have a bit of forward power, but I think the idea there is you've got to hold your impact driver forward to get, but yeah, it's not the same thing. This thing, every time you hit it, you're putting more power forward than you actually are spinning it. So, you know, you're not likely going to strip anything. And if you find something stripped, like I say, it'll often get you out of trouble. But I think in one of our last videos, I may have showed the door gap on this side. And the door was sitting in too far. And now the door's going to sit right here. You can see how, you know, we're pretty flushed out. And it's not perfect because this car's not perfect, but it's really, really close. So we're pretty happy with it. And it was sitting a hairline in, but just moving it out that little bit. These cars are notorious for sticking out down here. And I think what happens is the original rockers were a little bit round. The replacements go straight across. Maybe people don't install them well. But a lot of these cars, you see them, they stick out a little bit here. Now this stuck way, way out. But, you know, we knocked it in a little bit. So we're pretty close. This is where we're going to run it. Man, the shop's dirty. We're going to have to clean everything up soon. So this door, once I'm done with this video, you can see where this is where it's going to sit with the rubber, and I don't like it. We're going to pull this in to about here. it'll actually hold right there. Once we do, that one's right where we want it also. So from here up, it'll be real close. Yeah, this is not quite good enough. There, that's where it'll be, right there. See that little tip out at the bottom. And again, there's ways of fixing that. We'll do other videos. Go look at my sport satellite videos. We did a 69 sport satellite. We actually cut the quarters and different things, made everything fit really well. There's a whole process to that. I'm not going to explain it in this video, but you get the idea. So anyway, something you need in your toolbox. You're working with this, you're working with Mopars, and honestly, if you're working with old cars, period, just buy one of these. And again, that's a cheapie and it works just fine. Thanks for watching.